So last time I told you on well the way workers' cooperation affects the employer in two different ways, uh, and basically, well, making the workers compete with each other uh, may actually create both, potentially it may create some benefits, but it might also create some problems, especially if it breaks the cooperation with the workers and make them to sabotage each other. So that's one of the problems within the um, company. Uh, and well, another problem is basically the supervision problem, or ensuring that workers, or testing that workers' productivity. And basically, I mean, of course, even if you are making the workers compete, you should find some way to measure productivity. And one way is actually of doing that is supervision. That's the most oldest way. But it is testing how much effort the workers is putting to the production. But it is not easy for the difficult tasks to measure the productivity, the effort level. Especially, I mean, for a construction worker, it might be relatively easy to measure the effort. But if someone is working on the computer, you might just find out, I mean, that the person is working, but measuring the effort might not be easy. So same person working on a computer, having Excel open and trying to do some work on Excel might be, I mean, one person might be putting a lot of effort, one person less effort, even if their production speed is the same. I mean, if they need the same time to do same work, the time they need to do same work is the same, basically. And especially when the works become different and complex, in that case, I mean, who is putting most effort? That's something very difficult to understand. And workers can also cooperate against the supervisors, and in some cases, they might even cooperate with supervisors. I mean, supervisors themselves might be on the workers' side, especially basically when the supervisors are common in a workplace. It is the same way usually most students in especially at this especially before the college, but even to some extent at the college behave. They just the workers just put or exercise the minimum effort level, and they don't show extraordinary effort. And if any worker is actually showing extraordinary effort, usually workers don't like it. Why they don't like it? Because that person is likely to increase the standard of the workplace. Similarly, I mean, if the particular students who are working too hard, other students not, in many cases, other students don't like that student because that student may increase the standard of the teacher. So supervision is likely to keep the productivity at the standard level, basically. And one way, especially if there are the productivity level is measurable, or actually if you want to especially this is the case when productivity or effort level is kind of more correlated with the production level. whether it's an intermediate product or whether it's a task that is fulfilled. If that's possible, then contracts that are setting the wage might also set the effort level worker should exercise. But in some cases, by the way, it might be difficult to connect effort to the productivity level. That's one because in some cases the effort and production level is not that much correlated. There are some outside factors. For example, in agriculture, the temperature, the climate, the weather is also determining the production level, not only the effort that is put in. And in other cases also, I mean, some outside factors might also affect the production level. And in other cases, at this individual level, effort may not be able to separate it. Basically, you may only be able to get productivity level of a group, not a single worker, if the tasks they have are too much integrated with each other. For example, I mean, even if I, for example, am just chopping onions at a restaurant, if other workers are not bringing onions to me, I might not be able to chop many onions, basically. Or if the waiters don't get a sufficient level of orders, again, I might not be able to chop the onions, as many onions as I could. And, well, if contracts are done to set a certain effort level and wage level, basically they set those variables, and then they tell what will happen if one side breaks the contract. Well, contracts might create a security for the workers, although in some cases, I mean, workers might think, and it might be true also, employers might break the contracts easily, especially if they are, if the workers cannot face the legal charges as easily as the company. Then for the employer, the breaking contract might just have a cost of, I mean, a legal fee. Basically, and they might even think that the probability of the worker going to court is a low probability. And for the employers, of course, it sets certain rules, so it might make it easier for them, and in a more systematic way, they can basically retaliate to the workers. Since now there's a clear effort level that is set. And, well, this is the part I have already told you. Well, workers, as stated in this part, have one advantage, again, in the case of contracts. As I said, employers have the advantage of setting rules of the contract. For example, even in this school, I mean, I have discussed nothing related to contract. They have just brought me the contract, and I have signed the contract. And it is not an extraordinary thing. It happens almost always like this way. If you don't like the contract, then if you have other job offers, you compare the contracts and you decide which one to sign. Unless you are really a high wage worker, you usually are not able to negotiate the terms of the contract. But workers have the advantage of having knowledge of the workplace. In this case, the employers may not realize that they have broken the contract. And well, one thing is actually workers might help each other to make the employer not realize the contract being detected, breaking the contract is detected. And the other thing is and that's actually something completely apart. When contracts set conditions, they usually set certain other things apart. For example, they might tell the doctors how many patients they should look upon, but they don't tell necessarily how easy or difficult those patients should be. And as a doctor, I can basically easily look upon, look to 20 patients, but I might choose somehow. I might be, if I'm able to choose that, I might choose the easy ones, for which I might not need to put effort. And in other cases, for example, when a job is a multidimensional thing, like teachers, for example, when contract sets certain pay some attention to certain aspect of the work. For example, for the teachers, the test scores. Basically, those workers might just concentrate on the aspect the contract is focusing upon, like teaching them just tests, and not focusing on other things like motivating or making students like science, for example, or paying attention to other development problems of the students, which, according to some views, at least a high school teacher should be paying attention to. For academicians, for example, just writing a lot of articles, which are usually simple and don't actually present much new, usually don't tend to present new knowledge, new theories, because it's easier to publish those articles. So don't go to don't attempt to really work on challenging topics, because those topics are harder, and publishing a paper on them might be more difficult, needs more effort. So these are cases when, as I said, the contracts themselves might be, the shape of contracts themselves actually make the workers to use the voids of the contract, let's say. This is called actually incomplete contract case. Almost always actually contracts are incomplete, by the way. It's not a special case. But in the model you can recognize this incompleteness or not in some cases. So now, as I said, besides the competition which might exist, also the companies might set the payments according to the performance of the people. So the wage might be directly associated with the performance. In other cases, there might be some rewards for the people who are showing better performance. That benefit may, in some cases, promotion, but not necessarily, and not always basing promotions on the performance is a good idea, by the way. In some cases, companies might also give the profit share to the certain workers, but for lower workers, usually that's not. You cannot give to low-wage workers high profit share, and small profit share may not have that much effect, basically. And in the rest of this chapter, actually, we will look to this performance payments more in detail. Okay.